Yeah, like and you get into this mode as somebody coming from poor, and like I want to go back to something that you said, like the system being set up to fail. Like the system isn't set up to fail, but when you from a certain environment, I want y'all to catch this. When you from a certain environment, you don't have the knowledge or the resources to get the knowledge to pass the glass ceiling that's set up for you to keep you where you are. And that's the point that I was trying to get through this young man's head, that like, yo, you put you here.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build the game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack, and we're back in the lab once again at 6:50 p.m. On this Thursday evening. But before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button, because we do this for y'all, because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday.
Absolutely, man. I hear Jace over there acting a fool.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah, I can hear him in the background.
Yeah.
It's that time of day though.
Yeah, he been home from school all day, so he probably a little antsy. He been sick. He got, hand, foot, and mouth or whatever. So he been out of school for a week.
Bro, that's a weird name for a sickness, man. Hand, foot, and mouth. That's so weird. Like you would think like something that babies catch.
Yeah, cause they put their hands, feet, and mouth in their mouths or whatever. Their hands and feet in their mouth. But it's yeah.
What can you do, right? It ain't just a regular cold. It can't just be called the regular cold no more. It's 2023. We gotta give everything new names.
I mean, apparently it's been named that for a good little minute, which is weird.
When I was a kid, I ain't never heard of that shit before. Nah, never. Hand, feet, and mouth. I ain't never heard of that. I don't know. I am from Petersburg too, so that.
Yeah. Usually it's crazy because you would think it would be like, prevalent in like the rough areas, but it's not really. I don't think I've heard of it through elementary school or whatever, because it's just one of those sickness like kids get, like the common cold, like your kid's gonna get. It's something they get, and you just gotta let it run its course. There's no treatment for it or nothing. You just it happens literally.
I think they get antibiotics for it, but we ain't got to go there.
Over the counter stuff to cut down on the itching, but other than that, it's nothing really for it.
Ain't it like a stomach bug or something?
Oh, it's like they get rashes, and depending on how severe it is, they might get like little patches of blisters or something, and they itch real bad.
Ringworm.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, we just call it ringworm.
Yeah. But it's a little bit more severe than that, because I've had ringworm before, and it just stayed in one spot, and took a bunch of oatmeal baths, and you go right back to school.
Yeah, I ain't never had that, so I don't know what it is. That just like a scab to me. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, man. What's been going on with you, man?
Not much. Tomorrow will be a full week of in the field training of the new job, the new 9 to 5. But it's just, like working in so many different fields and seeing like what happens like outside, like literally outside of the 9 to 5, when like people are at work. It's like the earth moves totally different. It's ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
it's not that many cars out, but it's like it's that many cars out, but they're working cars. It's like a beehive. All the grunt worker bees are out there doing their jobs or whatever, and then you back at the hive and you just doing stuff.
Right on.
It's
Yeah.
it's crazy, but it's alright. It's alright. Other than that,
Right.
um, been doing pretty good. Been doing real good. What about yourself?
And man, it's been a little bit of a struggle, man.
Come on.
Yeah. So I talked about my mom last week, how she got put in the hospital, and yeah, man, it was a weird night the other night, man. Like we ended up getting this phone call from her, and she said that she was she can go home. She was in the hospital already. She's like, yeah, I can go home. I was like, all right. So it's like 8 o'clock. So how long have you known that you can go home? Like, cause it's late. So like, you ain't necessarily. I don't know them to release people from the hospital like in the middle of the night, cause like they got visitor hours and stuff. So like, I know they ain't really doing that. So it was like 8:19. She called and was like, yeah, they said that I can go home. Yeah, can y'all come pick me up? And I'm like, yo, how long have you known? She was like, since 4 o'clock. I'm like, bruh, like we could have exonerated this like a long time ago, but but she we we were about to head out, go pick her up, and we get another phone call probably like 20 minutes later, right before we about to head out the house, and she was like, yeah, somebody already here to take me, and I'm like, what's going on here? So like. Um, it won't even a full 24 hours after that, we get another phone call, or we call her because we had to do something for her. And we were about to go over her house, and I ain't get no answer. So I was like, all right, let me go check on her. Get to the house. She ain't there. And I'm like, all right, this is weird. What's going on here? And then we find out that she back in the hospital. We call her up. I'm like, yo, where you at? Like, we at your house and you ain't here. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm back in the hospital. I'm like, what in the hell? And like, meanwhile, like it's like a flurry of emotions, because I'm like, yo, you sounded like you were getting better when I talked to you, when you said you getting out of the hospital. And now all of a sudden you sound like you sick all over again. So like, what happened in a 24-hour, not even a 24-hour span, that got you back in this situation? So man, we've been playing chicken with her, man. She back at home right now, but like at this point, it's like, yo, I don't even know what to expect no more. So that's what we going through right now. But yeah, man. On a personal note, that's what I've been going through right now. It's just it's weird, bro.
Uh, yeah, it's with when when elderly people, when their health starts to deteriorate, it's a tricky subject, and it's almost like a wild card. Like they have their good days and then their bad days. It's like, oh, it seemed like they were getting better, but it was like, I don't know, like an extra dose of adrenaline that day or something. They just felt a little bit more lively, but they still had whatever they were going through inside
Yeah.
of them. So
And it's strange though, because like Alyssa was like, they diagnosed her. I couldn't remember them actually giving us a diagnosis or even telling us what was going on with her. But apparently, it wasn't nothing but a UTI and upper respiratory infection. And I'm like, yo, I ain't never seen an upper respiratory infection take somebody out like that. So I'm like, yo, I don't know how to feel about this.
but I mean, untreated and accompanied with some other stuff, it could put you, it can knock you on your butt now.
Yeah.
Because that's what my grandpa, he's been going through something like that. Lately, um, he's been getting a bunch of UTIs. Uh,
It's from all the damn medication, man. You take like 42 pills in one day. Like, yo, it's just bound to happen.
And then it's like they have side effects. Like you trying to
Right.
treat one thing, but like you destroying all this other stuff that you need. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope right there, bro. It's a slippery slope. Yeah, man. Uh, yeah. Take care of your family members, folks. That's where I'm going with that one.
Family members, and also take care of yourself. You know, eat nutritious.
Yeah, man.
Like you don't want to get to that point. Like
while we in this situation, because you ain't take care of yourself, man, it's terrible. And like a lot of people end up, I mean, you know, we ain't even gonna go there, bro. I ain't even about to travel down that rabbit hole right now. That ain't even what we here to talk about right now.
all right, sir. You got a story for this topic?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I want us to get back into what we started off doing. And I want to get back to addressing the elephant in the room. Because there's some people out here getting crushed. There's some people out here getting crushed. They got the whole elephant on their shoulders, and they walk in the relay race with the elephant on their shoulders, and they don't even know they're getting crushed. And I'm just like, yo, we gotta talk about this, because like, yo, I don't think people really understand. And like after this conversation that I had, I really do know that people don't understand what's happening out here, bro. So like, I'm just minding my business one day, and like I'm within earshot of a conversation, and I'm not really in the conversation. I'm just kind of there, and I was doing some business stuff. I remember what I was doing. I was doing the SEO for the last episode, and I was just kind of tuning everybody out, because I was trying to concentrate on what I was typing up or whatever. And I heard the young dude say, "This is why I wish I was born into a white family." And I looked at him, and I'm just like, "What?" And this dude is half white, so I'm like, "What are we talking about?" Like, I was like, "All right, excuse me, I'm sorry. I know y'all were in the middle of a conversation, but now, based on what I just heard, I'm interested. Continue." So I'm sitting here listening to the conversation. He's like, "Nah, man, because like, it was like white people, they do stuff a little bit different. They like, everything is all like, people take care of each other, and people do this and people do that." And I was like, "Where are you getting that from?" It was like, "Man, every time I like hear a situation about these people, like it's completely different." And he wasn't really giving like full examples. He was just like kind of like based on like some irrelevant knowledge kind of stuff. And like it wasn't really full details. And I was like, "Yo, that's weird, bro. I was like, you know, you white, right? Like, I know you like to play this Mexican card, but like, bro, you got the look." So like, I don't really know how we got here. So, you know, he was talking to another person who is from the kind of family that he was talking about. And I'm assuming that the conversation started because she said something about something that her family was doing with her. And I was like, "Yo, you do know this is not ain't a race thing, right?" And he was like, "Oh, it is, because such and such just be happening, and in my family people be doing this." And I'm like, "I hate to break this to you, bro, but you about to learn something right now that's gonna mess your whole day up." Like, I was like, "You ready?" I was like, "Watch this. The people that you know are in your family, right? Like, they act like that because they from a certain class. It's not because of their color." And he was like, "What you mean by that?" I was like, "So I know black people who live lives like you just said you wanted. Like, I don't really know where we going with the whole color thing, but like the longer you believe that this is a color thing, like the longer you're gonna be in this situation." And I was like, "I don't know if you're trying to get out of it or not, but like that statement that you just made proves that you know absolutely nothing about where you are in life." And I was like, I'm not trying to, and the conversation won't deep until I jumped in and started giving my 2 cents. But like they were just they were joking, and I was like, yo, I can't I can't in good conscience sit here and let you joke about this, and you have a real problem in front of you, like you. And he was like telling us about like some of the stuff that he's seen growing up, and I'm like, yo, I feel you. Like I'm from Fifth Ward, right over in Petersburg. Like I know exactly what you went through. Like we grew up. Like I grew up like 5 minutes away from where you grew up. So like we know the same struggles. So um, I want to talk about the environments again because I found myself bringing up some of the stuff that we talked about on that episode where we were talking about the environments with my sister-in-law's graduation. So like I want to talk about that again, bro. Like because I think people really out here believing that it's a race thing. People think everybody believing that it's everything but their environment.
Yeah. Uh, and I guess because the media and it's a easy subject to fall back in. It's so broad that it's easy for us to blame it on that. Oh, I'm at this point because of the color of my skin. I'm at this point because the system was built for me to fail. And
Yeah,
at one point, yeah, you could probably say that, and it'd probably be like 100% true. But like nowadays, it's so easy to succeed. Like you have
Yeah.
literally no excuse. Like even if you haven't seen it, like it is some way to get it. Like it with the environment that we grew up in, it doesn't teach that. And it's crazy we came back to this subject because I listened to something and it blew my mind. Scrolling down watching videos, and this one dude, he was like, if you haven't noticed it, the school system or the environment that the town is in, it teaches you how to fit in to that community.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nothing else. Like
Yep.
whatever town you grew up in, the school only teaches you trades or teaches you how to run businesses in that
Yeah.
area, in that district or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you go out here, you work for the shoe factory back in the day, the prison, the Amazon, a warehouse, auto
Mhm.
tech, nursing, RNs. That that's all they're teaching you. That's the only
Right.
way to get ahead. That's the only way to have a life in those environments because that's what they
Right.
teach. If you want to do anything else, you have to learn it on your own or seek guidance from uh some something outside your district. It's never going to come
Mhm.
from your district, from your environment. You have to seek it outside of that.
yeah, and that's why I told you like about my high school. Like they were teaching people childcare. Like you teach a high school students childcare, and the reason why they were teaching the childcare because the teen pregnancy rate started increasing, and like folks were bored, so they were just watching 16 and pregnant and teen mom, and they was just like, okay, that look easy, I can do it. Like, and so everybody started getting pregnant because we done made a spectacle out of teenage girls having babies. So, and then on top of that, like our town really ain't got much but like a bunch of distribution centers, so it's like not really any money. There's a distribution center and a few hospitals, so like only thing we teaching people is how to work with their hands and nursing, like cosmetology and stuff like that. So like those are real big in the areas that I grew up in. And to Marcus's point, when I discuss the situation with my sister-in-law's graduation, when I was just at the graduation, listening to some of the things that the kids were getting themselves involved in, bro, it was like, as a full grown adult, these were things that I wasn't even involved in. Like I was just like, yo, these are things that were blowing my mind, and I'm like, yo, this is just high school. and I got some college training. Like that, I was like, yo, that is deep, but it's literally because this environment is this environment was just better than the one that I was from.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Like, there's no standard on that. It's only like however established that district is how much that they will teach. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend out in Minnesota, and in in the high school they had a class called like uh life 101 or economics 101 or whatever, which taught you like the basic stuff of like how to do your taxes, how to own a house, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, bro, I'm out of high school and I still know nothing of those things, and I'm just like, why is it so different? Like place to place to place. Like there is no standard, like I said before, and it's
Yeah, like and you get into this mode as somebody coming from poor, and like I want to go back to something that you said, like is the system being set up to fail. Like the system isn't set up to fail, but when you from a certain environment, I want y'all to catch this. When you from a certain environment, you don't have the knowledge or the resources to get the knowledge to pass the glass ceiling that's set up for you to keep you where you are. And that's the point that I was trying to get through this young man's head, that like, yo, you put you here. And like, and I'm talking to him, and you probably know who I'm talking about as I unfold this story. But I'm talking to him and his sister, and I'm like, yo, every time y'all talk about stuff, like I ain't trying to be mean or nothing, but every time y'all talk about stuff, like it's about somebody, you complaining about somebody did something, you complaining about this family member. It's always the same exact story. Y'all out here trying to rob the system, trying to get ahead, and the system keep beating you every single time. Like, yo, you are from the environment that preaches that. But like, yo, there's a whole different world out here, and what you looking at is just a race thing, but it's literally just where somebody decided that I'm going to break this glass ceiling and I'm going to go beyond this. But if I go beyond this, then I'm going to have to completely detach myself from the environment that I came from. Because if I'm still tethered to that environment, that environment continuously pulls me back. And I'm like, yo, that's the thing that y'all not understanding. Like, you don't have. And he was like, yo, yeah, because I got family members that do such and such, and they don't even talk to us. I'm like, and based on what I just said, you can kind of figure this out, right? Like, this ain't rocket science, bro. Like, we not talking about physics here. So like, this is a simple concept. And so he was doing a compare and contrast to some stuff that another person was how they were raised. And I was like, so based off of how this certain group of people, how they raised, like, you're talking like they got a trust. And he was like, oh yeah, these trust fund babies. I'm like, see, all right, here we go. The old environment taught you that trust fund babies was bad. Do you understand why that is? He was like, no, why? Because I work for everything I got, and they get to sit on their ass and not do anything. I was like, all right, so do you know what a trust is? He was like, yeah, when somebody give you money after they die. I was like, no, that is an inheritance. See, right now you are proving the fact that your environment didn't teach you these principles. So yeah, I'm gonna stop trying. I'm off on soapbox. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So back to the environment thing. It's interesting that you said, well, you said that it's a fit in type of game. But if you ever notice, the ones that dare to go against that, the ones that are actually out here, they might not succeed and they might succeed as well. The ones that are going for that are the class clowns that never fit in. They
Right.
never sat
That's it.
down and
Right.
was like, I'm gonna go with the program. From day one, they
Mm-hmm.
never went with the program, and you see them living their life, having fun. Uh, they might be doing, uh, 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 career after career after career, but they're looking,
Yeah.
they're trying.
Clear that up a little bit. It's not only just the class clowns that look like that. Like when you try to when you're when you have a higher aspiration in a certain situation, bro, everybody know a sore thumb when they see it.
Yep, yep. And it's like you could be doing the same thing, but like these people, they shun these people in high school. They looked at them
Exactly.
like they were black sheep. They were like they had the the they were loud, but like they didn't really have a defined friend group or whatever. They was out here talking to everybody, whatever. They had their own way of moving through life, and like people just like they saw that as weird in high school, but like now these people are like almost upper echelons. Like they never sit still. They never in the town they grew up in.
What up though? Like you saying something. I think you talking about somebody that you know personally, but like think about the fact that you know other people like the ones who are still going along that path, even if they're not the class clowns, they could be introverted and don't want to talk to nobody. Like those people, they also get the same treatment. But because like I'm telling you, like during this conversation, man, this dude, he was literally beating this girl upside the head about her lifestyle and how she came from wealth. And I'm like, yo, like I'm being real with you, bro. Like I'm trying to get to a point where her grandfather left her family. Cause like she to a point where there's like she got one sibling and a bunch of cousins and they all get paid if grandpa died. Like I'm trying to get to that point. Like I don't know what you thought this was. Like I don't know what you thought this was, but that's the way that we need to be. Like we don't need to be sitting up here struggling, bro. Once again, we still talking about $2,000 a month. Like we still on $2,000 a month. I'm just like, yo, my mind is blown. And I told him, man, I was like, yo, my mind is blown right now that you're sitting here talking about her family's trust like it's a joke, and you don't even got one. I was like, yo, like my mom right now, if my mom passed away, I'm getting a bunch of debt. And when her mom passed away, she get a bunch of money. So I'm trying to figure out where the disconnect is here. And I'm like, how you think that this is a bad thing? And he's like, yeah, because when my dad passed away, I get a raggedy house and a bunch of beat up cars. I'm like, and we not on the same page here. Like, yo, what is happening here?
Lord, yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up because like, and I don't understand why we do that. I mean, I get it. There's a whole philosophy behind it. Like you see something different, so automatically you think it's negative because it's not what you're
Mhm.
used to. It's negative off rip, and it's
Right.
like you said, like we do that since elementary school. There's someone doing something different. There's this kid. He's reading a book instead of playing on the playground. So he must be a weirdo. He must be.
Yeah, bro. Like think about some of our coworkers who reading books on their free time, bro. Like nobody can relate to that.
How did we get here? Why is the environment so septic, like so toxic to this? Like anything, you dream big. You're a dreamer or whatever, and your environment is just like constantly like ragging on you. And
It's dumping poison into you. It's dumping poison into you because that's the environment. Like if you stay in the poison, you continuously get poisoned. If you hold on to the snake is going to hold on to you. Like it is what it is. The object in motion stay in motion. If negativity is there, negativity seeps in, and that's why. And oh man, and it's crazy because like I keep fumbling around this idea of transitioning into the next phase of life, and I'm just like, yo, we talked about this before, and like the more I hang around these individuals, the more I see that that might be the case because like I become like y'all if I'm around y'all because I ain't around too many people who got trust. Like I'm just saying.
so that uh, it's I don't even know. Like in order to to elevate. You have to have some type of positivity. So I don't understand why, if he did have those thoughts of, I wish I was in a white family. Make your family that family. Like you still got
Yeah.
time to do that. Like when
Right.
people say things like that, it kind of seems like, you're not gonna even try to at least,
No, he not.
get out yourself and,
He
get
not,
the
bro.
ball rolling to at least get there.
He not, dog. You and I'm gonna tell you like this, bro, because like I was talking to the young lady that he was clowning for having a trust. That's imagine that he clowning her because she got money. I was just fucking weird. But anyway, meanwhile yeah, it's weird, man. But as he was clowning this young lady and everything that she said that her family has done to put her in a certain position in life, he had something negative to say about it. So like we walked away from the conversation and she was like, when we have and she was like, if I'm being honest with you, like anytime we have conversations like that or about that certain topic, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, wow, how we get here? Like, what is that? Like, these people. Like, what's uncomfortable about it? She was like, because anytime I say something about where I came from or the type of environment that I grew up in, it's foreign to them. And I was like, that's interesting that you say that, because it is like you just saw that he had absolutely no knowledge of this. Like it didn't exist to him. Like he was confused, and he knew the terms, but he just didn't know the definitions. Like he and wasn't going to look them up either. Like, but she was like, yeah, it's strange because whenever they start talking about food stamps and cheating the system and claiming other people's kids on their taxes, that's foreign to me. And I was like, wow. That's even foreign to Alyssa too. Like I had this talk with her. She was like, but why do people do this? I'm like, just leave it alone. Why do people do this? Like, just leave it alone. Like that's all they know. But it's stupid. I get it. It's stupid. I understand. Don't rack your brain up trying to figure out or fix this shit. Like it's not getting fixed. Like these people, they don't want to be fixed. Like this is all they know. And like you said, like the dude, like you would think that somebody would put themselves in a position of like fixing it, but my man, he don't even know that it can be fixed.
That's the thing. That's what kills me. Like a lot of people believe that the situations they're in, the now, the point of your life where you listening to this episode right now. I don't know why you believe that everything that has happened, everything that has done up until now is set in stone. It is not. You still have time. You're still breathing. You're still taking in oxygen in your lungs and returning carbonite, whatever that thing is, into the air to help things grow. You still have time to change your life around, or at least get the
Yeah.
ball rolling to help your family out. Now,
Yeah.
I understand that you might not be here to see that change, but you should at least take pride that you got the ball rolling.
Mm.
Your name is going to be there. Somebody, because like we went to a family reunion recently, and like just sitting there and having this old lady was like, look, this is such and such. She was married to slave owner, and she had her own job and whatnot, and she had such and such kids which who did this, and this is that side of the family. It's gonna be there. There's someone who is gonna want to know how their legacy, how their family tree got started, and you're gonna be there.
All right, see, all right, look, hold up. You're going into a whole different type of mentality. You realize though, like I want to ask you this, like how many people that you know that has this type of mentality? And based on some of the things that you told me about your family is a little more, they got a little more class than many that I've heard of. But think about this: like how many people that you know that be on that every man for himself type of mentality know exactly where they came from.
See that?
They don't know.
Well.
They
Not
know
in a
grandma. That's
true. But they at least know something. Like it'll at least be like a negative aspect. Like somebody that's gonna talk about great grandma, great grandpa, whether it be good or bad. Somebody's gonna talk about it. But like you should want to at least use that. Be like, all right, look, bro, for generations and generations and generations, this family has been scraping the bottom of the barrel. So how about we make our own barrels, start fresh, and plant this thing? Like why is because we look down that long road of failures that we just okay, failure must be in my blood, it must run through my veins. So why not be add another failure to the barrel? Like why are we
like
doing that?
I ain't even going there. Like I'm just talking about the fact that like people don't necessarily take pride in where they come from because ain't nothing there. Like it's hard to remember somebody who left you in a financial struggle when they passed away. It's hard to it's hard to remember somebody who never left an impact. It's hard to be around somebody when they're not making an impact on anything. So, with this being said, these people, they're losing touch with their family. They don't know where they came from. They're not keeping track of this. They're just having babies. It's just generation just going on down the line, generation to generation. Maybe it might be a brother and a sister somewhere that still keep in touch, but like they don't know their auntie, they don't know their great aunt, grandma don't mess with her mom, so they don't know her. like, like they ain't keeping no record of this. So like if you go through a 23 and me, it ain't got no. It's like fill in the blank, bro. Like I promise you, Mark, and I'm not even lying about this, Mark. I had to do a lot of work to fill in my ancestry, a lot of work, bro. Like there was a lot of groundwork. I had to go digging up stuff, bro. Like, but would you believe that there are people who can get on ancestry.com, black or white? Like this ain't a race thing. We still not talking about race right now. But black or white, there are people who can get on ancestry.com, put their name and their social security number in, and it auto populates. Why do you think that is? Like why do we feel like that? Like what causes that? So like these are things that I've been thinking about since I even used ancestry.com. It was a while ago that I tried that, but when I found out that I was actually Irish, but I had to go and dig deep for that information, bro. Like it was nothing there. I promise you it wasn't.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, yeah. All right. So if you're in that situation, right? You know, you ain't really got a past to look back on. Um, what is your advice to the people that at least want change?
Be the change. You got to be the change. Like that's the best advice I can give. Like I don't know, I don't have all the answers, obviously, because if I had all the answers, I'd be the question would be answered. Like it would be answered if I had all the answers. But I don't. I know I don't have all of it. Um, I know that in order to do the things that I said I wanted to do, like I told them during this conversation that I want to be able to plan the next 100 years of my family's life. I'm talking great grandkids, great great grandkids. I'm talking like all of the like even down to the spouses of my children. Like I want to be able to control all of that, not necessarily control, but have an influence on it. And I want to be able to do something that's going to last for the next 100 years at least. Like, bruh, Marvel been around for how long? It's 75 years at this 100 years. No, it might be 100 years. I think Marvel came out back in like the no, it can't it probably 75. I'm going to say a smooth 75. Or somewhere in that area. But Stan Lee started Marvel in his 20s, right? But Stan Lee ain't come from money. Like for real, like yo, like I want to do stuff like that. And Marvel's still around and Stan Lee dead. My man, kids ain't even a part of the company and they still getting paid from his efforts, bruh. Sam Walton kids, bruh. Like Sam Walton didn't come from money. But that man started Walmart with just a little corner store, and now you can't even go nowhere without a Walmart, bruh. Like you can't even go nowhere without a Walmart. And like his family, like yo, his daughter is like this one of the richest people in the world, bruh. She don't even work for the company.
Come on.
She don't even work for the company, bruh. Henry Ford's great granddaughter right now, one of the richest women in the world, bruh. Never worked for Ford. You know what she do right now? Tell me why she owned the Detroit Lions. She, nothing about football. She don't work for the NFL. She ain't never did she ain't never worked in the Ford factory. Like God, like she just the daughter of somebody who made a huge impact on the world. Her family gets paid for every Ford vehicle sold right now. And all he had to do was be the change in his family. Like, bro, like, yo, that's the answer right there. Be the change. Whatever it takes to get to that point, you had to make that happen, man. Like, it don't take much. That's the worst part about it. It don't take much. All you had to do was create the success, and if it's a good, wholesome success, it'll last.
That's true. And I want to hyper focus on that. It doesn't have to be this big spectacle. It doesn't have to be, oh, I made $1 million in a month or in half a year or whatever like that. But like just something small. Like start off small. Like the person you talking about, connect a little with your roots and see how far that gets you. Like actually learn your heritage or something like that. Learn how to speak your native tongue or something, or just give your your legacy or your kids something to be proud of, something that they can hold dear, and let that spark something in them. You know, not everybody out here can speak a second language. That's a
Yeah.
valuable asset to have in
Yeah.
the working field and in life in general. Like if you can speak multiple languages, just two, you can speak two languages, that already opens so many doors for you. Just knowing how to speak
Mhm.
another language. Like
Mhm.
I really think at this point they don't really read resumes, but if they did, if they see this two language speaking person, they're gonna pick them over this stack of papers that
That's real.
people
That's
can
real
only
life.
speak one language. Like I literally I was working at a job longer than this guy that was working with me, and he got picked over me because he could speak Spanish and
Okay.
English. Like it was just that simple. Dude came up to me and was like, "Hey man, you've been working here for a while. Why didn't you get picked for that?" And I was like, I don't know, man. I knew, but I was like, I ain't wanna make it feel real.
Yeah. You didn't want to put that energy out there. I get you. I got it.
I was like, I'm proud
I
of you,
got.
bro. Like you were working hard. You got a position, bro. I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad at you, bro. Uh, but yeah, like
Some that. Go
just do
ahead.
that. Just do that for your legacy. Like be the spark that sets off this big boom for your family, man. It's not all about you. Like your last name can mean something out here.
Right.
It only starts with you.
Right. In addition to that, man, I'm noticing like there's a lot of people who don't even want to make the change to do anything more than what they're already doing. And that's their biggest problem right there. Like your biggest problem isn't the fact that it's not happening. Your biggest problem is that it's not happening. And when you see it's not happening and you acknowledge that it's not happening, you just complain about the fact that it's not happening. You don't put any action in the fact that it's not happening. You ain't changing nothing to make sure it happened. You just know that it ain't happening and you just stay right there. And like some of the people, like this dude that I'm talking about, I know for a fact that he one of the people that just he talking about the fact that it ain't happening, and that's just staying right there. Like I could just tell just by how he was responding to some of the things. Like yo, I was dropping knowledge on this dude. Like I laid this man whole world out in front of him and was like, yo, this ain't it. Like I put his whole life in front of him. I don't even know his peoples, bro. I don't even know his family. But I know people like them. Like I could tell just by looking at him, just by talking to him, and then like turning around and talking to his sister. Like I know people like them. Like I know where they came from. I can get a general idea of who they are just based on the conversation that we have. And I'm just like, yo, like this ain't it. What are you gonna do about that? Like, are you gonna do anything? Like, are you gonna make something happen? Like, he just like everything was a joke about where we are instead of a oh yeah you're right, like let me take a second look at what's going on in my life right now because it ain't necessarily where I wanted to be at. And so I'm just like yo, like for real, I'm noticing right now that there's a lot of people out here, and that's the reason why I'm hating the environment that I'm in right now, because there's a lot of people out here who they in a certain situation and they don't want to get out of it. They are making no effort to make any moves away from it. And that's why I'm so picky about who I have conversation with. And I'm mad because I'm not mad because it's not happening around me. I'm mad because the people are not taking it serious. They not doing anything with the information. Like you talking to somebody like me, you're getting the information, you're doing absolutely nothing about it. That's the thing that pisses me off. But then on top of the fact that you doing nothing about it, you coming to me complaining about the fact that your environment is the way it is. And that's the thing that pisses me off, bro. Like we don't need to be talking about nothing if you don't have any plans on making any changes.
But so, and it might just be uh, how we think versus how they think. But even so, like all it boils down to is, they want to make money to have fun, right?
Yeah,
And the guy you're
yeah.
talking about, he's doing that. He's doing absolutely that. He's making money to have fun, and it's like you're doing all this stuff, but like, what's the end goal? Like, you could be making a profit off of what you're doing, but you don't seek the knowledge to do that full time. This kind of leads back into the episodes of, these people have talents, but they don't use those talents to get out of the situations they're in. When they you can clearly go on the internet and see a bunch load of people doing these things, getting money from outside sources or whatever, you know,
Hmm.
and they're living their best life. But yet,
Right.
the people that we talk to, the people that are in our environment, they'd rather work at this job that they don't like, complain, and squeeze and penny pinch every dime and dollar to continue working at this job and have fun on the side too. Like that's the hustle for the people in our environment.
Yeah.
Struggling and having fun at the same time. That's the name of the game. If you're doing that, you're winning. But there's a whole bunch load of people out here that are just making money and having fun at the same time. Not even struggling. They just making money and doing what they want.
But bruh, is literally the epitome of moving backwards. Like all you're doing is moving backwards. Like that's literally the thing that you're doing. Like it's almost like, and I see it just by studying certain things. Like I studied my own finances and knew this was the case. We don't make enough money. Like plain and simple. We don't make enough money. There's no way you can change that. There's no way you can spin it. We don't make enough money. With the way inflation is, we don't make enough. Like there's no way that you can work at a job and just make enough money. Like it's not possible. And like I'm looking at the fact that like, hey, of course you can save, but like things, life is life. Like let's be real, life is life. You're going to spend money. Like, but the problem is that the way the world that we live in, there is not a way to do what Marcus just said and succeed. Is not possible because the way inflation goes, you'll always be working into a pit. You'll always be spending more than you're making because you, like I said, life is life. We about to have a kid right now. We don't know how our expenses are going to take that, but I know for a fact that we got to make more money. Like like I don't care how you flip it. We have to make more money. So like, how do we get there? To like, do I go get a second job? So the environment that I'm talking about, that's what their solution would be. How much overtime could I work? How much more time can I sell to make more money? And you had to get away from that. So if the environment tells you that the only way that you can do that is to sell your time, that's not the environment for you. If you're watching this and you're listening to this right now, you're probably, especially if you made it to the end of this episode, like as you made it to this point right now, you're probably not the person who's trying to trade time for money. Like let's just go ahead and put that out there the way it is. Like you want to be the person that's making passive income. You want to be the person that is actually doing something for your family instead of witnessing your family. Like yeah, you guys were here on the rock at the same time, but y'all ain't live. So like you're the person who wants to see something happen for your family. And I get that. Like, but you gotta understand that the reason why we don't get on here and big up jobs like that, we ain't gonna talk about Marcus with his situation going on here. That man got a plan. Don't let him fool you. That man got a plan. But the reason why we don't get on here and talk about jobs like that is because jobs isn't where it's at. You can't make enough money to support you if you're just working a job. Like somebody was talking about, I wonder how much, somebody asked me like, we just got a raise. It was like, I wonder how much the cap gonna be in the next 10 years. And I was like, you do understand that if we continuously increase what we're making here, like if they continuously pay us more, then they'll put us in a new tax bracket, but the job is the same. And it was like, well, what did that mean? I'm like, well, for starters, you'll have to pay taxes instead of getting a refund. And chances are, like once you get to that point, you had to start deducting your own taxes from your own income. I don't think you're ready for that. Like, I don't think you're ready for that. So, get to a place where you can understand money, understand finances, and like this environment piece that we're talking about. You guys have to get away from the people who pulling you backwards. I know it's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting, man. I promise you. Like it hurts me sometimes. No, it don't. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, let me not lie like that. Like cutting off some of the people in my family was the best decision I ever made. Like, if I'm being real, the best decision that I've ever made. I don't have to deal with their stress anymore. I don't have to deal with their drama. Nobody's calling me, filling my head with bad news. I mean, opposed my mom, she's still from that side where, bad news is the only thing that she talks about. So like I had to kind of filter it out as I hear it. But like I don't have to deal with struggling people no more. And it feels good when I do that, because me not dealing with those struggling people anymore is the very reason that I was able to put myself in position to learn myself and put myself back together after the pieces were broken in the environment that I was growing up in, and it helped me find my wife right now. Like, it's deeper, it's a lot deeper than just you. And I want you to understand that. So once you get to a point where you can be the change in your reality, you can be the change in your family, you can be the change in your situation, it makes everything clearer. Everything is going to start looking up for you. Like, I ain't even rich right now when I feel like I'm rich. Like, how does that even work? Like, like, I don't feel like I got all the money in the world, but like, I do feel like I'm a wealthy man and I don't even have a wealthy bank account yet. Like, I've never felt like that before, but it's all because I changed my environment, and it's all because I let go of people who were dumping trash into my system. And that's what you guys got to do, is start dumping the trash out your system.
Yes. Yes. Detox. Detox. Clean yourselves from the filth that, the environment polluted you with. Like, your environment is stagnant. It's this cesspool of what you know. It's what you're used to. Uh
Yeah.
and if you continue to stay in there, you're just gonna fall right in line to the septicness. Septic system. There we go, septic system. You're gonna fall right into that. And you just gonna become toxic. And then you're gonna be the old man trying to speak game to these youngins because apparently you got all the answers, but yet you the old man at the corner store asking for change so you can get a 40, you know?
Or the old man at work. Or the old man at work. Let's talk about it, bro. The old man at work. Just pick one. They all the same. Every last one of them, just pick one. They all the same.
Be the change in your family that you desperately want. Uh there's this jack that I keep saying on TikTok that kind of resonated with me, right? And it's this character or whatever. He's talking to his inner demon or whatever, and it's like, like, why do you keep fighting? And he's like, I have to. He's like, no, why do you keep fighting? And he finally speaks up and says, he's like, I'm fighting to be the hero that we never had, right? And I was like, yo,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
deep.
deep.
That's deep.
So yeah, keep
Yeah, I
fighting,
like
people.
that.
Fight for the things you want. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be hard because you don't know. We don't know what we're doing, but we get on this podcast and we talk about the things that we are learning to put ourselves in a better position to be better than we were yesterday.
Just fight to get a new fight.
Yes. What we got
Fight to
coming
get a
up?
new.
What we got coming up right now? I'm currently still working on book one again. I don't really have anything new, but the progress on that is alarming. I don't know how much I talked about it on the last joint. I think I think I remember talking about it on the last joint, but like, bro, like I got to a point where like I thought I was gonna be editing this joint, and like I'm rewriting the whole book again, dog. I'm like, yo, what is happening here? Like I opened it up with the initial thought of I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna read it, and every whatever I read in, and if I can think of some more detail, I can just go ahead and add some stuff in. But I'm like, let me just try this out for a second, like, and then like 10 minutes later, I ended up with a whole new chapter that wasn't even a part of the joint from the beginning. And I'm like, that's interesting. So what pretty much what turned from what went from a short little edit is turning into a completely different project. So that just goes to show how much value that I'm putting into this project, and I can't wait until it's done, because once it's finished, I will be able to do the things that I should have been doing from the beginning with the Aether brand, and that is actually marketing the Aether brand and doing what and actually doing it some justice, because right now I don't feel like I'm doing the Aether brand justice, and it's a contradiction to that conversation that we just had. So I just want everybody to know that once you start doing things, it ain't pretty at the beginning. Never. It's never pretty. Bro, I'd have got some angry people talking about my first book. Some angry people.
It's gonna look ugly before it looks good. I remember I had that saying in high school. Um, I was given the task to clean up something, right? And it was like taking forever to just pick this one thing out and then like kind of move it over here, file it, and then do this over here. And I was like, you know what? Dump everything on the floor. That way I can
Mm-hmm.
see where everything is. All right, this cluster belongs with this. Put this together. Put it in this empty spot now that it needs to go. And then everybody's just walking by. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm organizing. And then at the end of the day, everything was all nice and neat. You knew where everything was. If you didn't, you just come back to me and I'll tell you. Right freaking there. It looked ugly, but at the end of the day,
Everything, bro. Everything looks ugly before it looks good. Everything, bro. Hey man, nobody is out here calling the girl with braces on a dime, bro. Nobody is calling her a dime. But as soon as the braces come off, there's a whole different story. I promise y'all, nothing. Market just said it. Nothing looks good during the process. Like they're like right now. Like all right, so check this out. It's funny that you say that, because like right now we in a Airbnb in Hagerstown, Maryland, and like we in a nice neighborhood right now, like the big 3,000 square foot house kind of houses or whatever, if you can imagine that. Um, so right now, like the house that we in right now look beautiful, like hands down, like it's a masterpiece. But right next door, it's an empty lot where they building one. Like this joint that we on right now got green grass everywhere, got the cobblestone walkway and all this other stuff, the lights and stuff on the path or whatnot. Like it's all painted, colorful. The next joint over there, the next door, the house next door got tieback on the outside of it. It's like it's just a frame. It's just a frame. The ground is dirt. It's just all dirt. Like so, like for real. And then honestly, like it threw me off a little bit because all the other houses is already built, but just this little section here just is messy, it's trashy, like. But at the end result is always going to pay off. And what some people do is they quit in the process. And I ain't trying to start another episode right now, but like you quit during the process, and that is the reason why you will always have what you always have, because every time things get hard, you will quit. And in the reference of this episode that we just made, is that we just talked about, and your environment is going to try to pull you back, because your life is going to get real ugly once you start finding your independence. I just wanted to add that in there, Mark, because like people are going to make the mistake of going back to that environment once their life get ugly, and it will get ugly before it get better.
whew. Alrighty, people.
My bad.
No new business on my end. Just out here working to better my life. So this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
It's like a Bible verse, man. Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.